I'm here with Thomas Keneally in our next installment of 5 Minutes Alone. Thomas, how are you?
Very well for being in Bali, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. I've got a few questions for you. First question, who or what do you read?
I read everything eclectically. I read the classics by listening to them on iPod. I find that's all the classics I should have read and that I'm now catching up with. I walk 6 kilometers a day, and during that 6 kilometers, I'm listening to 19th century writers. Then in the 20th century, it's a mixture of history and fiction with a tendency towards fiction. It includes writers like Toni Morrison, Saul Bellow, the Australian Peter Carey, William Butler Yeats, a series of Australian poets like Judith Wright, Kenneth Slessor. There's a great deal of fascinating Australian social history written that I'm reading. I'm interested in Asian, particularly Indian history. Other authors I read include Günter Grass, Herman Hesse, etc., etc.
Okay. Now, of all the characters that you've written about and all the subject matters that you've dealt with, to which are you most attached?
I think I'm most attached to what I'm writing about at the moment because its flaws have not yet been exposed. But also it's about nurses in World War I, and it's not a Gone with the Wind sort of book. It's about lower middle class and working class Australian girls, based on their journals, coming to terms with the mess men have made of the world, and thus becoming increasingly rebellious the longer the war continues. And there's no book like the book you're writing to be attached to, so I love my nurses.
In terms of your writing process, would you characterize yourself as someone who flies by the seat of their pants, or are you sort of a strict outlining kind of guy?
I'm seat of the pants. I'm very much the sort of writer who has to write the first draft to find out what the thing is about. And therefore it's like Polynesian voyages, knowing there's an island out there somewhere. They're going to take account of the currents and the stars, but they don't quite know what other islands, what other people, what whales, what tempests they're going to meet along the way. They only know they will meet them.
What's the best advice you were ever given as a writer?
Only begin. The blank page is a terrible thing. You have to do, if you're writing about an historic subject or a political subject, there has to be a certain amount of research beforehand. But I am aware that many writers say, oh, I'll start writing after I've taken one more class, or I might write a short story first. I think only begin, get into it.
One final question for you. Could you share with us one little thing, one little fact about yourself that's not widely known?
That I am involved in the administration of football in Australia, particularly of a North of England code, which is very popular in Eastern Australia, named Rugby League. It's a working class game, so up the workers.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time. Sorry about the noise. I hope you have a great festival. Bye-bye.
Thank you.